We get so much shit from the stigma, from the stereotypes, everything from the outside world. Feel like we need to be doing better as a community and embrace the sisterhood and embrace each other as
Help each other.
beautiful, inspirational women who are fucking strong ass bitches, y'all.
I'm so tired of opening TikTok and seeing like prison wives make videos shading other prison wives and stuff. And it's just like, just stop. You have good news to share. Happy news.
I have good news to share. Last weekend I had a contact visit with Michael. I have great news. Hello, everybody. We're back. It's your friendly host, Gigi here, and I'm here with the lovely
Your friendly host, Paige. Hi guys.
who's using her anal beads to curl her hair. No, I'm just kidding.
If
It's
you're-
a wand.
If you're on Spotify or Apple, I'm curling my
You're like,
hair.
what is happening? Straight out the gate. What is that? Well, y'all were gone for 2 weeks. Y'all went nuts.
Yeah, well,
okay,
we're back,
anyway.
and the first thing is Paige is using her anal beads.
Yeah. We missed you guys so much, and we got a lot of messages saying you guys missed us, that you don't like us when we take 2 weeks.
That is
you
so
need
special when people
you need your weekly fix. So I promise for a long stretch we will be here. We just needed some time off. Obviously the pod is a lot. So we're back. We're back, and we're feeling rested, rejuvenated, full of lots of wonderful things to talk about. So, to get it started, we're going to start with our. Let me get my sexy voice. We're going to start with our sponsor, Beyond Bars Imaging. Hey guys, it's getting down to the wire. You get your fall, your pumpkin patch, your Thanksgiving, your Christmas, your holiday pictures. You want to take your picture or merge pictures. It's now the time. Start putting your requests in, because once the holidays come around, it gets very, very, very busy. So hit up Paige, because she's a fucking genius in the prison wife photo making game. You can hit her up on the Instas. You can hit her up on the TikToks. You can hit her up on the Facebook, Beyond Bars Imaging, and put in those requests for your beautiful family holiday photos. She can do anything and everything. And if you have special requests, she can do it. I'm not like, no lie. Anything, she's got it. So hit your girl Paige up.
To piggyback
Wait,
off
what?
of that, if anyone has, I was just gonna say, if you have any pictures that are specific, like holiday, please let me know a little bit before the holiday, just because, obviously I'm a person. All right, anyway, I'm a person who, I'm not super busy. I literally sit at my house all the time, but like, especially when it gets closer to the holidays, I get a little bit busier then too. And my life might be getting a little bit busier coming up here. We'll see. But other than that, yeah, hit me up. I got y'all. Making some fun fall ones right now. Pumpkin patch.
Yeah, the one you just posted with the pumpkin patch was fucking adorable, by the way. So if you need to check, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go check it out, please. Get your fall, Thanksgiving, and Christmas pics from Paige at Beyond Bars Imaging. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and dive right into our What Up With That legislation. Are you ready, Paige?
Oh, I'm ready.
I got to get my soundboard. I'm just not ready, but I'm ready. All right, here we go. What up with that? What up with that? All right, what up with that legislation, Paige? We got some hot shit to talk about.
We do.
Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we froze.
Oh, do you want me to start, or you want to start?
Doesn't matter.
All right, you start.
All right. Well, I have a little bit of bad news to start with. The first one is that SB 94, which was a bill that was proposed in California by Senator Cortez, was literally just dismissed by the Senate floor because it was supposed to be reheard. after they had made revisions to it. And this past week, they just dismissed it. And there are so many politicians on Twitter specifically that are posting about it. They're like, this was disgusting. I'm literally going to pull it up because I'm like, so, and I tried to fight the one, but he didn't reply, of course. But I was like, all right, you're putting out false messages here. I just want to talk. Like, you know what I mean? That's it. Where is this dude? He really set me off because I can't with the fear mongering.
Yeah.
I said, what he said was he posted a story that said, California lawmakers declined to hear criminal justice reform bill before session ends, which was SB 94, which was to let anyone who was sentenced to LWOP prior to 1990 and have served at least 25 years to have them have their case reheard. You know, review it, make sure it's good. Yeah. And this guy, who is a Republican senator for California, said 3 additional corrections / additions. Thanks, CA Senator Reps, and change criminal justice reform to release murderers early from prison. And then he said, believe the Dems will try this again next year. To which,
and hopefully they fucking win, asshole.
To which I replied, you have no idea what you're even talking about. Any type of reform like this would have resulted in a case-by-case review. Continue to fearmonger. I'm unsure who we're keeping safe by locking elderly men who cannot even walk in cages.
Yeah.
I saw it when I went to family visit. There's so many men that have walkers that are wearing those yellow vests because they are fall risk.
Fall risk. Yeah.
That's who you're keeping in prison.
Yeah. Well, Republicans get kickbacks from prisons. Let's just be real, because our governor as well said we want the rest of the country to fear our criminal justice system. So let me just say this. Republicans line their pockets by overpopulating prisons. Okay? I'll die on that hill because you will and I'm sure there are other politicians that do as well. I'm not going to say all Republicans.
Oh, yeah, they're all
but
crooked.
Republicans want to fill and overcrowd prisons because it's for profit. Wake up, people. Wake up. Our prison population in Louisiana is the highest in the fucking world, and he's still overcrowding prisons. Like, there's not enough people to work. So it's going to be total chaos. And what I'm saying is if people have shown that they are not a threat to society, and maybe that their sentencing was very harsh a long, long time ago, because, you know, things change with time, they should be eligible for a review.
Absolutely. Like, rules and laws have changed. Things are different. We live in a different world, and to ignore that and continue to ignore that and think that you're doing anything to help our system is fucking crazy. Like, okay, Californians, that's your guys' tax dollars that are now funding,
I'm about to say that.
Funding people like Gerald fucking Oates, who is 97. He is a 97-year-old man incarcerated in California who has been up to the parole board multiple times. Like, literally, my girl Allison, love her, shout out Allison, she literally tweeted to this guy, she's like, do you feel safer having Gerald Albert Oates incarcerated? He is 97 years old, oldest incarcerated person in the California Department of Corrections. It costs over $100K a year to incarcerate one person. Educate yourself. You're showing your ignorance.
And keep in mind, when you get elderly, you have to pay for all of their medical.
Yep.
Y'all, your money that you work for is paying for prisoners and their medical care.
And there's a lot of elderly prisoners getting medical care.
Angola has a whole hospice section.
I know.
So a whole hospice camp. So just so you guys know, in Europe, I think maybe the maximum sentence for life is like 30 years. There is no true life sentence. Now, can you be held past that time? Sure. If the board sees that, you know, like in England, I think if they don't think that you're fit or eligible to go out into the world, into the public, they can hold you. But I mean, I was talking to a friend of mine who's in Canada, and she said Michael's crime would probably got 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
and meanwhile, we're fighting for his life. You know what I'm saying? So just there needs to be some type of reform, or else you're going to have, we're the highest, we incarcerate more people than anywhere in the world as a country. We're number one. And it's your money going towards that. So whether they're in feds or whether they're in a state facility. So keep that in mind, guys. And elderly population, they're not a threat to society anymore. They've paid their dues in a sense of spending lots of time, loss of their life, giving that up, being separated. So it's time to show mercy and compassion, because if we want other people to do that for us, we need to be the first people to do that for other people.
I like when people will talk about this and specifically be like, well, yeah, those pedophiles and rapists deserve to be in there for life. I'm like, anyone fucking home? Because that's not who is in there for life, okay?
No.
Just so everyone is aware.
They let those people out. They let them out because they know they'll reoffend, and then they'll give them a stronger case to prove why parole doesn't work.
It just is, it's crazy. I'm like, I mean, I know that there are cases where people that do those crimes get sentenced to long sentences, but they're fair and far between. I know many people who have dealt with the criminal justice system being on the other side who have not gotten the kind of, support.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, do you have anything? You had said you had something good.
Not good, but just like an FYI for everyone.
Okay.
Specifically, sorry, again, it is another California one. But there is something on the ballot this November I just wanted to throw out there to everyone. Proposition 6, it would amend the California Constitution to prohibit the state from punishing inmates with involuntary work assignments from disciplining those who refuse to work. Instead, the prison could set up a volunteer work program to take time off sentences and form credits. And that is so important. 100% yes. All of my California prison wives and ladies, anyone who lives out there that's listening, when you go out in November and you see that on the ballot, vote yes. That is ending the 13th, guys.
Yeah, and that's a big push nationwide in Louisiana as well, because first of all, the work conditions in Louisiana are absolutely terrible. They went up to a federal judge, and the judge ruled that it was inhumane. But making people work, like, people don't want to work. Like, the prisoner's like, I refuse. I'm not a slave. So it's a push to end slave labor, because slavery is still very much something in this country with the 13th Amendment. So vote, you said yes, right?
Vote yes on Prop 6.
Yes. All right. All right. So a couple of things, some good news coming out of Massachusetts and Connecticut. Emails are free of charge in the federal system, but now they are also free in Massachusetts and Connecticut state prisons. Oh. So big shout out to
my girl
Connecticut. Wait, what?
Gotta let my girl know that.
Oh, okay. And then I got something from one of our members of Love Within Walls. Just something, it's not legislation, but it is something kind of heartwarming. The Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction at Grafton Correctional Institution had a father-daughter dance.
Oh.
And it was the pictures. Oh my God. Okay. I started tearing up because, I work with kids who have parents that are incarcerated, and they need their parents, whether they have somebody helping take care of them or whatever. They still need to see their parents. And this was an event where girls got to dress up like princesses, and the incarcerated individuals got to dress up a little bit. They put like little bow ties on and stuff. It was so cute. And it was a huge hit. It was a formal dinner. They had a formal dinner, live music, and they had performances from a ballerina. And then the fathers gifted their daughters a necklace before an evening of dancing. There was no age limit. That's what made this event so
I love
different
that.
because you had people reconnecting, like women in their 20s going to see their dad and reconnecting with their fathers who are incarcerated after like decades of not seeing them. So shout out to Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction for doing that. And I think more facilities need to do
Oh my
something like
god,
this.
yes.
It rewards it incentivizes the incarcerated individual. It brings families together because incarceration rips families and communities apart. And a girl needs her daddy. A girl needs her daddy. And sorry.
No, I was just about
Oh,
to be super
you're taking
cynical.
this. I know you're going to
I was
take
about to
this.
be super cynical and be like, I'm feeling really fatherless right now.
Sorry. I'm
It's
sorry,
okay.
Paige. No,
Listen,
I'm just saying if
okay.
they're here, if they're here, why separate? Like
And you want to be
why
a part of each other's life. How evil
yeah.
to
Yeah.
not do what you can to make that bond.
So good job, Ohio, and other facilities need to take lead. Like at Angola, they have a boys and a father program, but they don't have a father daughter dance. And I think that would be something that they could do, And I'm talking with I'm gonna talk with my other Real Housewives of Angola. I don't have any kids, but I know obviously we know Jessica who has two
That's who I'm
daughters,
thinking
and
of right now. I'm thinking
yeah,
of her
she was
girls
like,
dancing with him.
she saw this and she was like, I would give anything for the girls to have that because, when they go to dances and go to homecoming and go to prom, like their dad can't take them. Or even
Yeah.
if they have a dad daughter dance at their
Yeah.
school, he can't go. There's somebody always filling in
Mhm.
and, bless the person filling in. But it would be nice for them to have that with their dad. So, or just children in general. So, kudos to the Ohio Department of Corrections for putting that on. I have one more fun stuff. Fun stuff. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I think this one's out of California.
Oh.
Okay. I saw this on Instas. Our favorite topic. Here we go. 4 Fulton County Jail security officers were arrested for allegedly smuggling cell phones and chicken pot pies into the jail and having sex with inmates.
What a combination of
Chicken fucking pot pies,
yeah,
y'all.
like I'm sorry, I'm just confused with the
Sorry.
I don't get it. Like what did they put the phones in the pot pie?
Hold on. It says they provided 6 cell phones and other contraband and had sex with them on an inmate with inmates on 3 separate occasions. They might have put the cell phone in the fucking pot pie. Holy shit. Hey, I mean, you're bringing your pot pie to lunch and here's a cell
Innovation.
phone. Yeah. But now these 4 ladies are going to be charged with contraband and, um, other things. And they also were accusing each other of sending explicit photos and videos to the incarcerated individuals and smuggling cigarettes and cell phones.
Well, if y'all
So,
never smuggled in the cell phones, you wouldn't have to worry about who's sending pics.
yeah.
For
And
sure.
a pot pie.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So let's go ahead and just talk. Open it up. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Well, one thing I promised to bring up, and this kind of goes, it's not legislation, but it's just within the prison world. Paige and I are going to talk about our personal stuff later, but I want to bring some attention to Illinois. With there's an issue with Maynard Correctional Center. There has been out of Chester, Illinois, 13 Menard prison guards have been transported to Chester, Illinois emergency room to experiencing symptoms of overdose from unknown substances. So the prison guards are ODing. It says on Monday at the Menard Maximum Prison, an inmate was found overdosing. Responding prison guards immediately started to also experience prison overdosing symptoms while rushing to the area to help the inmate. EMTs were also affected by the unknown substance and exhibited overdose symptoms. correctional officers and medics were both taken to the emergency room. So this has happened at Angola too with fentanyl. You have guards shaking down and then they get exposed to fentanyl and
So I thought that
they
was a lie.
have to get Narcan. Wait, what'd you say?
I thought that was a lie. That like
What?
you can like breathe in fentanyl and die.
You can't. No, it's happened. You even if you touch it, like sometimes people put stuff on like paper, and if they touch it, sometimes. But this is a issue. I think the bigger issue here is the constant overdosing of the incarcerated individuals in these facilities. It's on the rise, and it's on the rise everywhere.
Yeah.
Even in Louisiana, we had a whole like drug bust thing happening at Hunt facility.
They carry
Um,
Narcan at Joe's facility.
yeah.
The
So,
inmates.
and now the problem is now what they're doing at Menard, and this is terrible. They are pulling visits. So now you have prison wives, prison girlfriends sounding off, getting very upset about not having visits. I don't know if it's just a safety thing or if they think the visitors are bringing it in, but let's be real. Come on, y'all. Come on. This is probably being brought in by the guards themselves. That's how most of the drugs get, if not most, almost all of the drugs get into the facility. So I know it's a very, very dark time in Illinois for families that have loved ones at Menard. And we are with you guys. I know there's a Illinois state wife group specifically that has been a good resource for these women. So if you have someone there, or if you're in Illinois and you know about this, obviously our hearts go out to you, because I can't imagine going weeks and weeks without having visits because of
Of their fuck up.
overdosing. Yeah.
Like,
And let me say this, the overdosing is not going to get any better if we don't change the criminal justice system, because a lot of these people overdosing have no hope. Have no hope. They've lost hope and they're looking for an escape. So, unless we change the way we think about criminal justice, the cycle is just going to perpetuate and it's just going to get worse. So our hearts go out to the families that have loved ones at Menard, because yikes, this has been a shit show for at least 2 or 3 weeks at this point. Where they haven't.
I want to say to the prison wives, just keep using your voice and keep advocating for your loved ones. I know it can get really exhausting, but I mean, that's how a journalist found out about this and started writing about it. And write to news stations if you haven't yet, send them emails, reach out to them on Twitter, reach out to them on Instagram, send, keep documenting them and keeping them updated on these things. They care sometimes and will get involved, and that's sometimes all we can do on this side. So don't stop using your voice even when you feel defeated.
And I think there was also something brought up with speaking of the voice part, that people were being rude and ugly and saying terrible things about the facility and the people working there. It would probably be, I'm going to say this. You have to learn how to use your voice in a way to get your message across. Cutting people down is never going to be the way to do it. I think what you said, Paige, about going to the media, going to a journalist and putting it out there and letting people know this is what's happening, is probably the best way. And advocating and, just posting on Twitter, not being ugly, but just putting the information out there.
Really
because
important.
I think there was a really bad issue with some of the wives having issues with other wives, the way they were saying stuff and talking to the staff, which is only going to piss the staff off more, and they're not going to want to give you the visits. So just use your voice in a positive way to get them. It's important to get the message across, but you have to do it in the right mode and method. You
don't want to give them a reason to call you the crazy one. Keep your voice calm, cool, collected the whole time. You know what I mean? Just be this is a matter of fact of what's happening at my husband's facility. And if anyone gets upset about that, be I'm upset that my husband is enduring this, Just
Hmm.
don't give them anything like to go on the bad side and say some rude shit, even though there are probably some people that need to hear some rude shit. You know,
Yeah,
it's just
absolutely.
keep it internal and do everything you can to fight for your man.
Yeah. All right. Well, we love you guys that are in our group that have loved ones at Menard. And like I said, in Love Within Walls, we have a lot of ladies from with loved ones from Menard. So we're here for you. And keep lifting each other up. I know it's a hard time, it's a dark time, but you guys can be the light for each other for sure and help each other out and not work against each other, work together. All right. So let's talk about us, Paige, because it's been 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We got some news. I'm gonna start with Paige though. I want to tell everybody how your family visit went and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Well, anyone who's a Patreon already knows how my family visit went because
Oh yeah.
all of our Patreon, just so everyone knows about our Patreon, I made a video before my visit of me showing everything in my bag. And then after my visit, I actually filmed a video that's like 8 or 6 minutes long of me crying.
Yeah, but it was real and it was raw
Yeah.
and it's true emotions that we all experience.
Yeah.
So
I felt comfortable posting it on there because it is like a kind of like at least there's a paywall there and like,
mhm.
being vulnerable sometimes is scary on the internet. It's still something I'm like stepping into fully. I still am like halfway out the door with some of it, but that was like the first time I've been able to do that, so that was nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, our family visit was awesome. It was great. It was very fast. I got there. I pulled in a little bit early. I had to turn back around because I was at the gate 15 minutes before I should have been. So I had to do a loop and sit outside of the prison gate for 15 minutes. And
That's like the longest 15 minutes
yeah, in my
ever,
little
probably.
Tessie that has like I the one thing about Teslas, guys, I don't know how people do it because like I'm psycho with my phone battery. Having like a battery to look at, I don't know why, but my anxiety hated that.
Hmm.
It just hated it. So for some
Yeah.
reason, seeing 50% was so much more painful than like seeing like a half a tank of gas. You know what I mean?
Can I just ask this? Because I mean, I've ridden a Tesla, but I don't know how to. I would never know the whole system. How does like 50% is how much time? Do you
I
know?
think it depends on where you're driving because it literally calculates it. So you'll put in your destination on the phone and it'll tell you how long it takes to get there and what percent your battery will be at when you get there,
Oh wow.
which is
Okay.
interesting. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But I can see how that could be nerve wracking. Like, oh my god, I only got 50, and what if I'm stuck somewhere? And then
it's weird though. I think I figured out how Teslas like save gas because like anyone who's driven one knows this. I found out just this past week. Um, when you literally have to have your foot on the gas because it won't go. Like as soon as you take your foot off the gas, the car like starts to slow and stop. Like it doesn't like glide like how other cars do. So
okay.
it was interesting and I had to get like used to that because like as soon as I'd take my foot off of like the gas, even if I was on like the highway, my car would start to be like and stop. And I'm
Oh,
like, anyway, those were fun debacles that I had to deal with before. Um, Seeing Joseph, I literally almost cried when I got into the rental car because I'm like, I don't know how to start it. Didn't know how to start it.
a Bessie and a Tessie.
Literally. So I did get to Joseph. I went through the gates after waiting for 15 minutes. Thankfully, the family visit lady picked me up like a half hour early than they normally do, which is a really big deal because I'm like, usually that's like the worst part is sitting there for me and waiting because I'm just like, let's go, let's go, let's go. And I'm already like, a naturally
And
anxious person.
he's waiting
Mhm.
for you too.
He was
Yeah.
already there because when we were on the phone at like 9 in the morning, he said that they had called him to go to, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, anyway, so got myself checked in. I was the only one getting checked in, so that was nice. Went through all of my bags. We have to bring shampoo, conditioner, body wash in see-through containers that are a certain size. I thought that see-through thing was the only thing because at our last prison, that's all that mattered. But apparently they needed it to be a certain size. I had bought full-size shampoo, conditioner, body wash, and she's like, "Yeah, you can't take this." And I'm like, I'm like, okay, like, does he get to bring his stuff? And she was like, well, what about this? And she went and got like these, like, the best way to describe them is like dog poop bags. And she gave me 3 of them and told me to squirt my conditioner and stuff into their in each separate bags, and that's how I used it.
Oh my
I'm not
gosh.
kidding. I was like, thanks for letting me do this. I didn't
So
know.
is it like, oh my god, so you had shampoo and conditioner, body
In
wash,
bags.
and doggy bags,
Yes.
dog poop bags,
Yes.
wow.
Literally. So that was the only kind of thing that was like, damn it, because I was able to pick up a movie this time, which was The Notebook, and we did finally watch The Notebook,
Aw.
so that was exciting. Um, I got into the unit. We, obviously it was awesome. We watched movies. We made all kinds of food. He's like my little chef. The first day he made pizza, and then I got steak, and he made the steak for us. And the next day we had another pizza, and he made burgers, and then we had all kinds of food. He was so hungry at the end that he was like, I can't eat anymore, or so full.
Aw.
But
I love that y'all get to have all that. That's
it's
amazing.
it's like so crazy. Like I literally was so I told Gigi this before. I hate it afterwards, but there's so many times during family visits where I fall asleep. Like even just like laying on the bed, like while like he's cooking or something. And I'm like not like a narcoleptic person. I don't like randomly fall asleep, but I'm literally so at peace and so
Mhm.
comfortable when I'm like around him that my body finally just like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and it's like
stops.
he's your home, and doesn't matter where you are, it feels like home,
Mhm.
you know?
Yep.
So you feel comfortable to be able to do that and just pass out, you know?
It's so surreal being able to, like, like spoon your significant other to sleep and like wake up together. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and then of course it comes to an end and you have to leave and it's like the worst thing ever. I of course cried a lot, but I don't think as much this time as I have past times. I'm getting a little bit better at it, but it's still I still cried on fucking our Patreon. So,
Yeah.
I'm never not going to be sad, but at the end of the day, obviously, I am so thankful that we have that time to, you know, be
Yeah.
together and have some kind of normal life. We played Uno for hours. We love Uno, him and I. And he actually did, I'll give him this, he did beat my ass this time. I typically win because I'm just that bitch, but
Mhm.
he did beat my ass in Uno a few times. And I was like, you're honestly cheating at this point because he kept getting the wild card with +4. And I'm like,
Oh,
why do
yeah.
you get that in every hand that you deal?
He specifically adds he must shuffle the cards
Yeah.
and cheats.
And then he tells me when I win that I do it. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Mm hmm. Mm hmm. Let's fight. That's why I said, let's
It's
fight.
That's funny because we played Uno at our contact visit, and I didn't win, but my kind of like I call her my sister-in-law, Michael's best friend, won a bunch of rounds. So
Mm.
it's fun that we get to do that.
I love that. I love playing games. That's one of the things I said to Joe because there was a few new things in the different apartments. I actually donated a few of them because like I'm in like the family visit group for our prison and like at the end of the day I go to family visits there and I would like newer things too so I don't have like a problem like
Yeah.
doing that. Like I donated some of the pots and pans. I think I got one of each of the games and then we had like new alarm clocks and stuff that were in there, but I said to him when we left and I posted it on our like family visit group on Facebook.
Mhm.
Um, I was like, "Can what does anyone think about us bringing in like this card game?" And it's one that we had when we were at his last prison, where it's the guy Gary Chappell, the guy who wrote the Five Love Languages. He has
Okay.
like a card game type thing where it's like you could ask it's so many different questions to ask your significant other. And I was like, can we get these in the units? And I was like, they're only like $7. I was like, I'll buy like 4 of them and like then someone just needs to buy like the other 8 or
Yeah.
whatever we have. And there were a bunch of women that were like, oh my god, I'll do that. And I was like, okay, I just can't plan it and bring it because I live over here. So like if someone
Yeah.
lives over there and wants to do it, I'm like, let's go, let's do this.
So how do you donate stuff? Do you just send it to the facility, or you buy it and send it,
So
or somebody brings it in, or you bring it in with you?
how I understand it is that one of the women, because we have an IFC that's supposed to like work with them, but like let me not get started on that because there are some IFCs that are helpful in prisons. I am unfortunately not at one that is like that. Waste of time. Anyways, there are some ladies that are very nice and like will volunteer to like talk to like the visiting sergeant and find out what they need or be like, can we bring this? And then once they approve it, she's able to like post like and put it on like an Amazon wish list type thing. And then that way we just all order it and it ships to her house and then she takes it to the prison and they like sign off
Okay.
on it and everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That y'all can do that.
Not often, I don't think, but they just let her do it for a few things because like they're realizing that we're all like we're willing to donate and do those things. Just ask, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it was great, and I can't wait to go back. I think we might end up having one at the end of this year, so we'll see.
Yay. For the holidays?
Maybe I told him I
Yay.
said I'd really rather not, and of course that sucks because obviously I would want to see him then, but I'm thinking immediately of prices of flying, of hotels, of that's where my brain goes. So I'm like,
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's before the influx goes up for the holiday season.
mhm.
So that time in between Thanksgiving and Christmas, hopefully.
That's what I would hope for, but it sounds like it would be like towards
Mm-hmm.
Christmas. So we'll see.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
You have good news to share. Happy news.
I have good news to share. I last weekend I had a contact visit with Michael. Some of y'all liked my pictures on the Instas. I have great news. After waiting since probably the end of May, beginning of June, shout out to Warden Hooper at Angola because he signed off
We
on one
manifested
contact
this on
visit.
the
I
Patreon.
know. And we had a little scare. And, somebody said, oh, he signed it, but he really didn't sign it like before. And I was devastated. And now we have a little victory. We have a small victory. So I'm celebrating it. We have one contact visit a month, going from 5 a year to now having 12
I
a year.
literally have chills. I'm so happy for you, dude. You fucking deserve that
Thank
at
you.
bare
Thank
minimum.
you. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously it's going to be a little bit more packed. So I may not be able to stay like a whole day like I normally do sometimes. But it's something that we both we need because when we have it's like I think somebody in our group posted this where your battery like drains. It's a picture of a couple where they're
Yes.
apart and their batteries
Yes.
are draining, and then they're finally hugging and the battery starts refilling, and then finally spending that time
That's
together,
a visit.
their batteries are both full. So I know it's like that I'm sure it's like that for you at family visits. It's like that for me at contact visits. It's just being able to touch him, hold his hand, hug him, kiss him. Like he was rubbing my leg. Like I was able to put my legs across his lap, like sitting next to him. And he was just rubbing on my legs and he gave me a massage. He braided my
Oh my
hair,
god, the way
just
that would
that.
never happen at CDCR.
Well, we don't, I mean, I'm sure you can do it in a family visit,
Oh, hell
you can
yeah.
do a lot of stuff, but like we don't even get that. So this is something that gives us the time to be a couple,
No.
which is
Yeah.
nice. It makes us feel as normal as we can be within this. Cause like you said, like when you're there, you're comfortable with him. When I'm with Michael in that visiting shed, I forget I'm at Angola. I
Yeah.
forget that I'm at a maximum security
I feel
prison
like I'm at a
sitting in death
hotel at
row.
family visits. And then I'm like, oh, there's a barbed wire.
Yeah. Yeah, you see the razor wire and you're like, "Oh, yeah." And you forget, but you forget. You forget that you're in this
Yep.
place because you're just with your person. And that's I think shows the true love, the love that you have that this person can be your home even though they're not with you
Mhm.
all the time. They can be that for you. So, that's my awesome news about Visit. Um, I guess something that's can I just say something that's kind of been on my
Of
brain
course.
since it's kind of just recently happened. Um, I am on the advisory board for my sorority, which is Alpha Z Delta, and yes, I was in a
Roll
sorority.
call. Made it to the front. You know what song I'm talking about?
Yeah, the TikToks, yeah. Um, So I was in a sorority when I was in college, and I will say it was the best decision I ever made to join one because our campus was a commuter campus, and I wanted to have a college life. So I joined, and I made some of the best friends I have in my life. I've stood in people's weddings; they've stood in mine. Um, so I'm on the advisory board, which means I advise some of the officers in the chapter that are currently in the chapter. And we have our rush recruitment happening right now this weekend, actually. And I had been spending the last 2 nights going there and helping them out and supporting them and, just doing that advisory role basically. And I, I kind of I posted this on my Instagram this morning because it just hit me. We are the whole purpose of a sorority is to build up other women, encourage other women, help them realize their potential and things like that. And it's a sisterhood. And it's not the same, obviously, but that is what we do as prison wives. And we have to stop putting each other down, all this other stuff. And
Yes.
we are in this together. We are sisters, and we need to be inspirational. We are strong. We are capable of so many fucking things that most women could not even do. Let's be real,
And
okay?
there are so many people that are mean to us. We don't need to be mean to our each other. You know what I mean?
Thank
What
you.
the fuck? The hate cannot come from inside.
Yeah, we need to build each other up, not try to tear each other apart.
Hmm.
And I think just seeing that last night and the other night at recruitment made me think of that. And I just we are on this journey. Our journeys are different, of course, but we're on a journey that is similar altogether. And I'm going to echo what Paige said. We get so much shit from the stigma, from the stereotypes, everything from the outside world. Like, to have to cut each other down, and like, they are like, it just baffles me. And I just feel like we need to be doing better as a community and embrace the sisterhood and embrace each other as
Help each other.
beautiful, yeah, inspirational women who are fucking strong ass
Like
bitches, y'all. We are.
if you see someone going through some shit, guys, like, and you care or you want to help, like, you know what I mean? Like, talk with them.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I cannot stress it enough how important it is to just fucking communicate. And as someone who, we are, kids of a generation that were, we got in trouble. And then, even if we were having something going on in our heads, we were told to go to our room and deal with it and be quiet and face it by ourselves. And not talk about it. And I don't want to speak on you, Gigi, but like, that's how my childhood was. And then,
Mhm.
kind of trying to have to learn how to handle your emotions by yourself. And like, it just doesn't set you up to be a good communicator at all. And I never really wanted to admit that about myself until I was like, it was even my relationship with Joe that helped me learn that, I have a lot of communication issues and I can't ignore it. And if I want to, have a successful relationship, friendships, a group, a foundation, or anything, like I have to communicate because it's no one's job to read my mind and it's not my job to read anyone else's mind. And that's so important.
Yeah. I'm just gonna echo that because I came from the '80s. I was a baby of the '80s where you just rub dirt on it and you keep going.
Hmm.
Like, you don't talk about it, you just put some dirt on it and it's good. And I sucked at communication. I honestly did not have good communication until I met Michael. Michael taught me
Yep.
how to really, really freaking communicate. Um, and I've learned that, if you have an issue with someone, or if don't like something, you need to speak up and say something. Like you said, we can't read minds, and assumptions are always sometimes dangerous.
Hmm.
So it's always good to communicate how you're feeling, especially not just to random people, but to the person or whatever the issue is. If you have somebody that you can talk to that you feel comfortable with, that's if you need a vent, like, that's something. But I think also, with the prison wife community, I think we need to talk to each other, and like, if I have a question, I'm going straight to Paige.
Mm-hmm.
If I have an issue, I'm going straight to Paige because she's my partner in all this.
Yep.
And she's my rock, and she's the person I rely on.
And how many
And
times have we had awkward conversations because like it just like, you know what I mean?
yeah. And
But we have
can I
them.
can I be real?
Yeah.
Like there was one time I thought you were mad at me. I'm like, Paige, are we good?
Yeah.
Like
And I was like,
right
what?
before we freaking recorded, like on a pod, I'm like, Paige, are we good?
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure, but I'm gonna say it because I
And
want to
thank
make
God.
sure we're open,
Yeah.
we're communicating. And if you just shut down, nothing gets resolved,
Yep.
nothing gets fixed. You stay in the same spot. In order to progress and to be better and learn from mistake, like if I make a mistake, I would want Paige to say, don't do that.
Yeah.
You're making like this was wrong. I want her to tell me. And if I go, okay, well, let me reassess. Let me see what I need to do right, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And I know she would want the same of me. So if someone is like, I don't know, if you're having issues or you're feeling a certain type of way, I think it's just good. And especially if it's someone causing you to feel that way, it's always like as an adult, we just need to suck it up, put our big girl panties on, and have a discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And, you joking around and saying something silly is not a discussion, an
Mm-mm.
actual discussion. It's healthy. Even if the feelings are not positive, that's okay, you
I'm so
know?
tired of opening TikTok and seeing like prison wives make videos shading other prison wives and stuff. And it's just like, just stop. I'm like, aren't you tired? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I got it. What's that from Mean Girls? The one girl, she's like, I just want everyone to love each other and
You want it to be
rainbows.
sunshine and
That's
rainbows and
me.
cupcakes. Yeah.
That's me. And one more piece of advice that I will give to people for this, because as a chronic people pleaser, I posted this on my story the other day on Instagram. As a
I
chronic
loved it.
people
I
pleaser,
loved it, by the way.
yes, I'm so notorious for and an empath. Like I will feel and take on other people's feelings because that's just how I've always been my whole life. Like, even when I watch some things like on the news, I have to like turn it off and can't do it because I'm like, my brain will like take me there and I'm like, that's someone's child. Like, you know what I mean? And I start to like
Mhm.
spiral. Um, that comes the same way as dealing with like, conflict or communication issues. Like, make sure that you are not taking on someone else's feelings, you know what I mean? Because in the prison life world, and even outside of the prison life world, like that mob mentality, it's very easy to kind of slip into it. And a lot of the times it's just not necessary, or it's made up things, or it's just because someone feels like they want to start something. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like everyone has their own issues for it. So just make sure you take that time to, like, as yourself, to step away and be like, why am I like upset right now? Like, ask yourself like those certain questions and then be like, okay. And if you're still like that, then yeah, I'll continue. But that's another big thing that I think happens a lot. I see it on TikTok a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. People get upset and then they go straight to TikTok and start ranting about
Or
something they
go
may
on
not have
live
full
and
information.
talk about
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
I will say this. There was something that really bothered me this week, and Paige knows, and I was hurt, I was angry, I was shaking. Like I told her, I was like, I need a minute because my emotions are like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to step back and just take a minute for myself. I'm one of those people where I don't get angry very often, and it takes a lot to get me angry. But when I get there, Paige is like, "Ooh, Gigi's, I love when you get
I
angry."
do.
I'm
I do. I kind of love it.
like,
I kind of love
but when I'm there, I'm there, and I have to really, like, you heard my mouth one time. I dropped the F bomb probably about 8 times on the pod. So I can say things and get very, very heated, very, like when I get there.
it.
So I know I have to self-regulate. I
Mm-hmm.
do. I have to self-regulate, and I have to take a minute to think about what I'm going to say, how I'm going to look at like you said, look at
Yeah.
everything, and then, go about communicating what I need and how I feel and
It's
those
like
things like
it's like
that.
that rule in the business world that I was taught, which I tell everyone all the time, and you can even do it in like real life. Literally, if you have something to say to someone, like open a new email, don't put anyone in the to box, type out your whole email and say everything how you feel, hit X, save it as a draft, you know what I mean? Come back to it the next day, open it, read it. If you're like, damn, I was a crazy ass bitch, or like, you know, or you're like, damn, like these are all valid and I still feel this way, then like, you know, if it's bad, like tone it down and then maybe like send it and stuff. Like it's just kind of another way to check yourself and your feelings, I feel like.
Absolutely. That's because, when you're really heated, you say things that you probably like, you say things out of hurt,
Yep.
and your intentions are to hurt the other person.
Yep.
So I think it's really important to do that because, yeah, it's important to get, and it's important to be able to express yourself. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's also very important. So that is almost like a way to express yourself, but also get it all out, and then you can reassess it later. Like, do I really want to send this? Because I've done that where I've sent something to someone and then I'm like, oh man, I shouldn't have said that. Because as a Gemini, my tongue is my sword. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I will cut a bitch down with my mouth real quick. So I have to, that's something that I have to watch
Mm-hmm.
big time. Big time. So I love that strategy
Yeah.
because sometimes you just get so worked up that you have to get it out.
Go into your notes app. Like a lot of people, I know there's some people that I learned this in therapy, that there's some people that love to like write it down physically, and like
Hmm.
specifically so that after they write it down they can fucking rip it up or like burn it or do something to get
Yeah.
rid of it. So it's like they got it out and it's like then they got to be like fuck you, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah, I think we as prison wives learned communication is so important in our relationships. It is also so important in our friendships as prison
Yep.
wives. And just walking away or just not saying anything and expecting the person to know what you're talking about is it's never going to happen. So it goes for any relationship. We always think, oh well, we communication is so important in a prison relationship. Well, it's also important in your
Every
friendships. It's also
relationship.
important in your prison wife
Mm-hmm.
friendships. you know this is such a beautiful, I will say this, even with all some of the negativity, this is such a beautiful community. And even though I've had really bad experiences with some prison wives that have really done me dirty, um I have met some of the most beautiful people. I'm pointing to Paige while I'm being quiet. I have met some of the most beautiful people, and beautiful inside, outside, in
Me
every
too.
fucking way possible.
Me too.
People that will give you the shirt off their backs. People that will go out of their way to pick you up if you're stranded and you can't get to visit. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
just beautiful people, and that's what needs to be seen by the world, not
And that's what we
the
all need.
stereotypical where we don't have confidence, we don't have we can't get a guy on the outside like that. We need to break that ourselves,
Yeah.
guys. We can't expect people to not see that when they hear prison wife if we don't break it from within, you know?
The energy that you take in is the energy that surrounds you, and you just have to, think about that. We want to be around, that's why we keep our group that positive space, and we try to stress that all the time. Like, if there is anything that's rude, we take care of that, because that is just not how it is. Like, even, there are some prison life groups where it is pretty much all nice stuff, but then like you'll see some comments where people get snippy, and it's like, even in our group we don't do that, because there's just no reason. And it's always a reflection of something inward, you know what I mean? And it always
Yeah.
is. And we can say that as people who have been the ones lashing out before, and we can say that as the people who have been lashed out at. It's just redirect it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we love y'all,
We do.
and we love this community, and that's why we do
So
this.
many cool people.
And when we get messages, I'm just going to say this, when we get messages or comments on our group Love Within Walls, my friend Jessica, who was on the pod last week, said I got rid of I got out of all of my prison wife groups except Love Within
I
Walls,
know, I
because that
saw
is the only group that is positive, that is motivational, that is inspirational, that everybody loves
that.
everybody,
Hmm.
and um, I'm so proud of us,
Me
Paige. I
too.
know it's your group. I always say it's your group, but
It's our
you
group.
always say, well, we built it
Yes.
together, obviously. And Paige came up with the idea, and I said, "Oh yeah, I'll help you." And I just thought I was just tagging along, and here I am. And Paige is okay. I'm not gonna cry.
Oh my God, don't. If you make me cry, bitch.
Okay. Paige is my my inspiration. She's younger than me, and she sometimes does things that I am in awe of, because sometimes I think I don't handle situations very well, and she is just sorry.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry.
She is just beautiful and amazing, and I am so lucky to have this group with you and to have this pod with you. Sorry.
No, I love you so much. I literally same.
I love you. And I just want to say, like, that was the whole thing that Paige wanted from the jump with Love Within Walls, have this group be a positive experience, and have this pod be a positive experience and a fun experience, and to be there for each other. And I'm just in awe of the way she handles life, the way she handles situations. Even if she's like, I don't know how to feel about this, the way she goes about it, she is just unfucking believable.
You're
And I
giving
love
me the
you.
nicest compliments I could ever get, but literally you're the same way.
You deserve it. You, with everything that's happened lately, I feel like I don't say it in our texts, and I needed to say it today to you face to face.
You do,
Because I feel like a voice message. I feel like I love that we do voice messages, but I think a voice message wouldn't capture the the realness of what I wanted to get across.
When I rewatch this, you're gonna make me cry. When I rewatch,
I'm gonna cry too. I cry every time.
I know. At the last that Patreon that we did, I was like sending you the voice message crying from laughing though.
Yes. But
I couldn't have done it without
Paige,
you. I fucking love you, and you're literally like you're like the most perfect, duo partner that I could have ever picked. And I knew that when we started this, because I know that like where your spirit and your heart is. That's why I was like, we're unstoppable. Like,
yeah,
and we're gonna
take over the world, Paige. We're gonna take over the world. Yes. And I had something, dang it, and it just left.
Come back.
Oh, I know. I was gonna say, I love also. I'm gonna say this too, real quick, that you have my back, and I have your back 120%, and we are literally podness, like in this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, love you. Just wanted to say that, and we love y'all. We love y'all endlessly. Our Wallers, our Morgan Wallers. We love you guys. Big hearts, sniffled. Okay. All right. So do you have a mean, we'll get into the fun stuff. Do you have a mean tweet or douche canoe of the week?
I think I have one that I can tap in on.
Okay. Wait, hold on. I got to play my. Okay, here we go. All right. Who we got? Who's on the chopping block today?
Prep Lexit Izzy. I don't fucking know these people. It's a man that's flexing, so that explains it all right there. He hopped into my one TikTok video where I'm literally talking about how I'm not glamorizing prison wife life, because that's one of the messages I've gotten a few times from men a lot too, like that are like, why are you like making it like a trend? And I'm like, I definitely like don't have my shit together, so like it is kind of a compliment that you think that. So this person said, how can he treat you better when you don't interact with him on a daily basis? You don't even know him or me or know that when we interact. He should have been a better person, because those people are not here to celebrate holidays or B-days with their family. I said, you're entitled to your opinion. Because I almost like did this long rant where it was like, I talked to him this much, but I was like, why am I explaining myself to this rando? Like, I don't need to. And he said, he's being punished for what he did. That's not honoring those people. If he wanted to, he should pay compensation for the lives he destroyed.
Well, he is.
Like, and like again, it's like you have no fucking clue. And I just
Yeah.
said, how do you know he hasn't done that? Making amends and bettering himself, healing and helping others heal is the best way that he can honor his victims' lives. Would it be better if he sat in there doing drugs?
Yeah.
Is that
At
what you
least he's
prefer?
counseling. He's being a mentor. He's fulfilling a positive role of service and helping others.
Hmm.
I don't think you can't help a cycle if you perpetuate hate and anger. In order to heal, in order to become a better person, you have to perpetuate a cycle of love, healing, help,
Yep.
service, compassion. So Joe is doing all those things. So this guy clearly doesn't have a brain cell
And that's
because he's just speaking out of his
and
ass.
that's what the kind of people that really piss me off, because I literally think of the exact moment where Joe, like, kind of, he's told me the story because it was before him and I had met, where he had this moment in his cell when he was still on like a level 4 facility, like still getting in trouble for like little random things inside the prison, and where he was just like, what am I doing and why am I doing this? And like, being like, what is the point of this? And then like getting all upset because of his crime and being like,
Mhm.
what am I, how is doing this, like getting arrested and coming in here and like doing nothing with my life? Like I took their lives. Like, you know what I mean? I did something
Mhm.
that now I'm going to come into prison and do continue to make nothing of my life. Like that's even more of like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
at least now he can try to do what he can to help himself, help other people, and like, honor those two people, and you say like, wear their names, like when they have victims advocacy days at the prison and stuff, like things he used to never even participate in, like he goes to those now, and like, he wore a name tag with their name on it and stuff,
Mhm.
and like does things like that, and he, like, it just sucks that he's out there doing all of those things, and no matter what, the general perception is this from these people that choose to
Yeah.
not open their eyes.
And I'm going to say this to the man flexing on TikTok. Um,
So
Despite what you think, prisoners are people. They're human beings. They made a mistake. They made a terrible mistake. Not all of them, but most of them, because I do believe that there are innocent people still in prison.
mhm.
Um, and they were punished and they are separated. Yes, that is part of their punishment, but they are still human beings.
Mhm.
They are bigger than their worst mistake. And people forget that. People think prisoners are not like they're subhuman.
I know. I'm like, my
And
my husband is still sleeping in fucking 80, 90-degree cell with no air. He's getting the absolute shit for food every day. Like, the place smells of feces and stuff. Like, do you think that he's living at the fucking country club?
yeah, yeah, and they see shit that they don't even talk about,
Yeah,
to us sometimes
exactly.
because it's so horrific. And they are people, and until we start treating people like people, it's not the world is never going to get any better. It doesn't matter what you do. Like you can be a person that made a terrible mistake and you're still a person and you still have a heart and you still have a soul and you still deserve love at the end of the day.
Try to be
So,
understanding of other people. It literally circles back to like the communication thing. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah.
everyone is going through things. Everyone lived a different life than you. Like, you know what I mean? Like some people grew up in the foster care system where they never even had a person that gave them that love, and then they became a gang member and they had the first time that they ever felt like they belonged to something. Like that's not how you grew up. So you, of course, you
Yeah.
look at someone that was in a gang, got arrested at a young age, and they're like, wow, what a crazy motherfucker. And it's like, that's,
He deserves
you
where
had
he
no
is,
choice.
like
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like,
Not everybody grew up the way you probably
yes.
grew up. So
Yeah.
you have to keep that in mind.
So that's it.
But
F him.
yeah,
I don't let these people really upset me anymore. So,
that's what I'm gonna do. I'll just do that. All right. So we have oh wait, Paige, I'm getting a
oh
call.
shit.
Hello, this is a prepaid collect call from
Fred.
an inmate at Florida Correctional Institution.
All right. You know what it means, Paige,
I
right?
do.
It's time for questions. Now, granted, I only posted it once. I totally forgot
It's
to
okay.
post yesterday,
We're here. We're back.
but we got 2 questions, so we're gonna roll with it. All right. So our first one is from our girl Addie. Love her at Chapters and Chains. FYI, she makes the bomb ass TikTok and Instagram reels.
meme
I
ones,
post
I
them, I
love
share
them.
them. Yeah, the meme ones. Oh my god, she's a genius. I love her. She came with the question: what is the most bizarre advice you have received regarding this journey with your loved one?
Bizarre. I don't know. You go first. I don't know.
Well, I mean, mine's kind of recent. My mom told me. My mom's probably going to hear this and kill me, but she told me the other day that I can't marry Michael legally until my father passes away. That's probably the most, but like, please do not marry Michael legally
That's
until
I'm
you've done your
fine.
research, because she's worried. She's worried about him getting sued by the victim's family and then them coming after me or garnishing my wages or something like that, which I understand. That's a
Does he
legit
have
concern.
does he have what's it called when you have to pay back?
No, he doesn't have any like restitution or anything like that. Nope, he doesn't have anything. And the family did sue him and his co-defendant, and they lost. So, I don't know about his co-defendant, but with Michael's case, he said that they lost. So I don't think he can be sued again. But
Yeah, that's
you
like
know,
the
my
big
dad.
thing.
It took my dad a long time to. He still doesn't like that I'm with Michael, but he kind of goes with it because I'm an adult and he can't really tell me what to do. My dad's kind of one of those guys, like, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but this is what I think, like he'll give me his thoughts, but he's not going to say, do this, don't do this. He doesn't like that I'm with Michael, but um, I think, as long as I don't get legally married to him, he's, it's like a peace of mind kind of thing. So I'm going to respect my mother's advice and wishes. And, obviously Michael and I have had a commitment ceremony with each other. And a lot of one guy that he knows is in the process of getting married at death row at Angola. And, so he's watching him and he was getting excited. And I'm like, well, let's just wait, put it on the back burner. So that is probably the most bizarre advice that I've gotten from about this life. So the question, I'm just gonna go ahead, Paige. You okay? Okay. Is there any weird advice or bizarre advice that you've
I'm gonna
gotten?
think about that and ask Joe, because I don't want to say there isn't, because I'm sure that there has been, but right now there's nothing that's like popping up.
Okay.
I'll give it to you when I get it. I like that question though, Addie.
That's a great question. Thank you, Addie, for that. All right, our next one is from E.M. Herbst. She said, how can we help support? Do we have any petitions, donations of goodies to send? I guess she's asking, how can we help support us?
Oh,
as a pod? I don't know. Do we have any petitions? Can we just talk about the petition situation in Love Within Walls? On the 10th, so in this week coming up, on the 10th of this Tuesday, I know this is coming out Wednesday, so just so you guys know, on the 10th of every month in Love Within Walls, we have a special bulletin board post where you can post petitions and things like that for your loved ones or for causes that you have that are dear to you as far as in the prison community. So we encourage y'all to come out and post on the 10th of every month in Love Within Walls. I'm going to reach out to her and see what she meant. I don't know if she's trying to get, like, she said, how can we help support? I don't know if that meant how can we help support us, help support Love Within Walls, help support prison wives. I don't know. So I'm gonna have to reach out to her.
We can't send snacks to our men.
You can send snacks to me. Yeah. I'm just kidding.
I'm like, yes. My body's like,
I'm such a snacker. Yeah. I'm sure there are prison wives that are in need of assistance. And obviously we want to make sure that that's something that we can do. And we want to help any and everybody. So E.M. Hurst, I'm going to reach out to you. Thank you for sending us that. And I'm going to get some clarification on what exactly you would like to help us support. I also want to, before we get into the meme of the week, I also want to give people some upcoming events that we're going to have in Love Within Walls. If you're on Facebook and you haven't joined our group Love Within Walls, please come do. Please just make sure you answer the questions and provide proof. But a couple of things we have coming up. Number one, we have our paint and sip. It was moved from this past weekend to next Friday, September 13th, I believe is the Friday. Yeah. So this Friday, 2 days from now, will be our paint and sip for September, where you can come if you don't want to paint, or if you want to do crafting, crocheting, something else, or just participate, just hang out with us. We have a little girls' night where we get together and I'm going to be painting. Paige is probably going to be painting too. I don't know, but she might be. Paige, did you ever say you had anything bizarre? You said no, right?
I said, I'll let you guys know because I've asked Joe.
Okay. There's one more thing before we do meme of the week that I forgot to mention, that I saw an article, and I'm going to share it to our pod page from NPR. There is I love dog stories, especially when they incorporate animals in prison. And so I meant to talk about this, and I just was going through my phone as I was in between internet breaks here. I don't know why. AT&T is they're down here. They're not, what's the word, picketing, protesting work conditions. So our AT&T is not working like it should be. But in Missouri, I wanted to just talk about this real quick. In Missouri, there's a Missouri prison at Algoa Correctional Center in Jefferson City, Missouri. There is a dog called Honor, and she is transforming the dorm that she lives in. It says prison can be a lonely, violent place, but one program, or more specifically, one in Jefferson City, Missouri, prison resident, is helping change the men around him. So Honor is a dog that lives at Algoa Correctional Center in an honor dorm, and it's home to 92 residents who are focused on reentry. And it's, I guess this dog is like almost like their mascot. They take care of it. And there's more dogs, but obviously Honor is part of the Missouri Puppies for Parole program that brings in Missouri shelter dogs for an 8-week training in hopes to make them adoptable. But Honor is a little special because he is a permanent resident and part of the family there. And obviously, Honor is used to help the other dogs who are skittish and shy in this prison puppy program, and also comforts dorm residents and other incarcerated individuals, and helps them work on rebuilding trust. So it's such a really inspirational story on NPR, and I am going to share this. I'm going to share this actually on our In Love Within Walls, and I'm also going to share it on our Instagram story. Just a really heartwarming story about how one animal has transformed a prison dorm and a program. So, there's a lot of bad stuff we talk about, but these are the things that we want to see, so happy stories.
Shout out to Honor.
And they also have it, if you don't want to read it, they have it in audio so you can listen, for those of you that like text to speech, or text read aloud, that kind of thing. I'm doing my teacher thing here. So, all right, Paige, we ready for the meme of the week?
Yeah, this is a good one, y'all. If this one doesn't
so
pop
true.
up, I'll be a little shocked because when I saw it, I busted out. I literally had to send it to Joe immediately. So it's a meme of Sheldon from Family Guy, that guy, with his head cut open and his brain exposed. And it says, prison nurses be like, put ice on it.
Not wrong.
That's do
how it
be like that.
Yeah.
They do. They're like infection in your teeth that could lead straight in your veins to your heart.
Or your brain.
Just get out of here. Just get out of here. You're annoying us.
The prison, we all know as prison wives, the prison medical system is a joke. They say it's good, and it's been deemed by federal judges to be worse than a third world country in Louisiana. So I know it's like that probably all over the country. It's bare minimum. If you can't work, then there's no option. Like, you have to work. Even when Jessica's husband was going through some medical stuff, they told him, if you don't want to work, you better be laid up in that infirmary. And he was like really ill and like had a medical problem, and they made him work. So,
they're crazy about showing up to work, because even when Joe has our family visits during like a working day, like that's hours that he's missing, and it's like a big deal. I'm like, everything's gonna be fine. They can figure it out.
But yeah, the medical care is just like that. Hey, here's some ice, honey. Here's some ice.
They're like, here's some Tylenol. Hope that infection goes away.
Yeah. Rather than really treating the problem. Paige, do you have any shout outs?
Just to my boy Honor that you were talking about. Shit.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, other than you,
Aww.
shout out to you. And I actually do have another one.
Okay.
Who might not even hear this. Well, she'll hear it when she does it. But shout out to Miss Jen, Miss Married Jen.
Yes, our producer.
She got married, y'all.
On it. She's not a single lady anymore.
Shout out to Jen. Love you.
Shout out to Jen, who got married, went on her honeymoon, and is a beautiful human being. We love you, and she puts up with us. We always come to her with crazy ass questions. So, shout out to Jen, because she is now off the market officially. So hold on. Shout out. All right. Our producer, Jen. And I'm going to give a shout out to Paige. Obviously, I shouted her out earlier, but I love her. And obviously, Sir Honor at the Missouri prison, changing lives, doing the damn thing as a fucking dog, loving life, loving the people he's around, and showing love to people that may not have had that when they were little and growing up. So,
period.
Yep. Well, guys, that's the end of episode 26. We love you. We missed y'all, and we're glad we're back. Come and see us on our YouTubes and our Patreons. I like to say Patreons.
We actually...
Oh, I forgot. I was in the middle of talking about all of the events we have coming up in Love Within Walls, and I got cut off.
Oh.
So we have Pain and Sip.
What
else? The book club. We have a new book club, The Green Wall. Come join us this Thursday, tomorrow. And then also our Angola Rodeo meetup on October 13th at the Angola Prison Grounds.
Period. Wait, what was I just going to say right before that?
I'm sorry. I don't know.
Damn. I don't know.
Was it about Honor? Was it about a shout out? Was it about Jen?
I have no fucking idea.
Okay. I'm sorry, Paige.
No, it's okay. That's my brain. That's my anyone who watches on ADHD.
It's okay.
Anyone who watches on YouTube already knows I have ADHD. The way I fucking sit here and I'm like with my shit. They're like, and then Gigi is sitting like she's like this.
Because that's what I do. I'm a teacher.
I know, but I can't do that. That's why I'm
but you can tell that I'm used to dealing with this. Like, I deal with my kids, a lot of my kids have ADHD. So I just sit there and I go, okay. Yeah. And that's do you. And we love you for it, Paige. Hey, you want me to do it? I'll do it. Look, here,
I can't even imagine being able to sit and not fuck with your hair.
I do. I get frustrated with it, and I'll put it behind my ears, and then I'll take it out.
Yeah.
And then I'll put it behind my ears. Yep. So I fidget a little bit. So.
Yeah.
All right. We love you guys. We love you. Wait. We love you.
We love y'all.
Have a great whip your hair back and forth. I whip my hair back and forth. Okay. We love y'all. And thank y'all for supporting us, waiting for us patiently, ever so patiently. And we'll see you guys next week and on our Patreon. Love you guys.
Bye.
Besitos. Bye.